Well, thank you, President Harold, and it is such an honor to serve all of the great folks in Iowa. I am in Des Moines right now. Shortly, I've got a couple of events today, but I'll be out doing a survey of some of the storm damage as well. So God bless all those that have been affected by this storm. I am a cyclone, but you know what? I am so proud of all of our great colleges and universities across the state. And this is one of those great examples on how we can come together in collaboration, and something that is very, very important to me, not only as a soldier and a combat veteran, but also as the mother of a female that is attending West Point. She is a third-year student at Cal at West Point and will be joining the ranks of the Army here in the next year and a half. So just truly thankful that we have great researchers that are involved in virtual soldier, and that they are taking the look at something I've been working for in Congress for a while now, and that is personal protective equipment that specifically body armor that is fitting for women. And I know during my own deployment, wearing the vests and the SAPI plates, they didn't fit properly, you know, and I know I'm a much smaller build than some of my truck drivers and mechanics. Some of them are pretty big, burly guys. And for those of us that were smaller women, they just didn't fit properly. And we have seen a number of injuries associated with ill-fitting, ironically, protective gear. So ensuring that our soldiers, male or female, are protected is key. And then other issues that come along with ill-fitting body armor, I think about my truck drivers, my female truck drivers. If they are out on a mission and their body armor is ill-fitting, it is uncomfortable, it doesn't sit right with their body configuration, what's going to happen? More than likely, they're going to open up their vest, they're going to open up those plates, may not wear it properly in order to relieve any discomfort that they may have. And we know that that puts them in danger, and we can't allow that. You know, I come from back in the day before we had up-armored Humvees. We were rolling through Iraq in canvas-topped, canvas-doored Humvees. And then as IEDs became a thing, then we started lining our Humvees and our trucks, the floorboards, with sandbags. You know, we've come a long way since then, and I'm very thankful for that. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to serve where I am and be able to focus on issues like this, and through Congress, make those changes through the National Defense Authorization Act and ensure that we're providing the best possible protective gear for our men and women. So I'm just so thankful. Dr. Malik, thank you so much for your efforts, and of course the first ever conference that you have today. I am so glad to be with you, but I'll stop there in case we do have some questions. And Dr. Malik, I'm not sure if you'll be fielding questions, or if Dr. Harold, if you'll invite folks to join in, but I'm happy to answer anything this morning. I think I do have a few minutes with you, so whatever might work.
Thank you, Senator. Yeah, we do have a way for folks to submit questions. Travis is managing that.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Travis.
One question that's come through from those that are viewing, if you could share some of the personal stories or experiences of the soldiers that you interacted with during your time or during your listening tour, and what they had to share.
Yeah, and Travis, is that specific to the body armor issue, or is that just some of the other?
It was correct. It was specific to the body armor issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And my own personal story, and I just shared a little bit about that as well, but having the plates that didn't fit properly, very uncomfortable to wear. Not that, you know, we expected it to be like slipping on a polo shirt or something, but of course, when it's not fitting properly, the experiences I had, especially with my female drivers, and females come in all different configurations. And so when you do have females that are a little larger on the top, those plates, just those flat plates, can be really, really uncomfortable. So what did I experience? Folks are we had the side open vest. So it was just like wearing a regular vest. And so what they would end up doing, those women, because it was so uncomfortable, they would just open up vests and not wear them properly as they're rolling down the road. And that's something we were always concerned about, always correcting. But with the threat that's out there, whether it is sniper, ambush, or even the threat of blast from IED, you cannot have anyone not properly protected. So, whether they're taking them off or just simply opening them up, we can't have that. So that was my own personal experience, and the women drivers that I had. They've got to remain protected at all times when we're on the road. And that wasn't happening. And so I witnessed it. I know others witnessed it. I have heard stories. So women, if they have to evac or get out of their vehicle quickly, the body armor, if it's not fitting properly, not moving with them, it becomes an inhibitor rather than a piece of protective gear. And it can slow them down or cause injury if they're hitting the ground. So women are sharing those stories, and because they're sharing those stories, we know that there is an issue, and we know that we have to take corrective action. I'm just so surprised that it hasn't happened sooner than this. We've had women in combat arms now for 5 years or greater, and we still haven't made that change, that advancement. So we need to get on this. We need to make sure that we're finding a path forward. And that's exactly what at least our Senate passed version of the NDAA does, is allow us to work on body armor specifically for females.
Thank you. Yes, we've seen the research that the female warriors and their male warriors, they are more willing to sacrifice their own health and body to ensure that the mission carries on. So we continue to see the musculoskeletal injuries, the back injuries, because they're going to accomplish the mission. They're going to serve even at the sacrifice of their own body. And that's why we're all here today. So really appreciate that answer. Another question posed: throughout your experience in the military and the Senate, have you seen other areas of need where modeling and simulation can be of assistance, or where it could be used more perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. And it can be in vehicle design, the interior of vehicles. Again, I spent a lot of time in a truck, and just making sure that not only you are protected, but that there is a certain comfort level for those drivers, those mechanics. Very important. You think about our warriors, our infantry soldiers, and as they're moving forward on patrol, making sure that any equipment they are wearing is not inhibiting movement. I have spent some time just recently with other researchers and developers that are working on the seat of a vehicle that's not only configured for a soldier, regardless of size, but then one that you can easily extricate someone from in case of some sort of injury. So there are so many applications that you can use your modeling for that just goes light years beyond where we have been before. The trucks that I commanded in theater were the 1088s, which is a cab over design where our soldiers are literally sitting on top of their engine, and the heat that's coming up from those and the discomfort and sweat and they, again, doing modeling and behavioral analysis, taking the heat coming from an engine below you, 142 degree Fahrenheit heat outside the vehicle, no air conditioning, using those situations and modeling human behavior is really important. So I'm thankful that you do have the researchers that are involved in this. We know that our soldiers have literally a much better fighting chance because of what you are doing. So we're just very thankful.
Travis, can you hear me, Travis?
Yes, sir.
Travis? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think there's another area, and I'm veering away from body armor here, but 4 or 5 years ago when I first saw Santos, I remember saying to Kareem, there are a group of military that work largely off of intelligence, and then trying to prepare for a mission with a small group of people going into harm's way. they need to practice over and over and over every possible scenario that might happen in a mission. And all of a sudden, when I saw Santos and what we were modeling, I said to Kareem, there's a whole nother application here, which is running some of those simulations, trying to anticipate all the bad things and good things that could go on, and try to anticipate who goes left, who goes right. Because I think if you've ever seen one of those operations in the preparation for it, it's a lot like a ballet, and it never goes right. And so everybody has to be on cue. What if somebody goes slightly the other direction? You've got to know that is a very, very, very important application, I believe, long term. It's pretty complex, but it's very important. So sorry, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dr. Harold, or President Harold, that is absolutely correct as well. In my role as the committee chairwoman or subcommittee chairwoman for emerging threats and technologies and capabilities, we do oversee SOCOM. So our Special Operations Command, and the various types of missions that they will be engaged in, whether you are a ranger fast roping out of a helicopter, whether you are a Navy SEAL doing some sort of amphibious, patrol, your equipment is going to be different, and it needs to be modified for your mission. It needs to be lightweight. The less weight they have to carry, the better off they will be able to, perform their duties. So there's just so many different applications that I see here that just they blow my mind. When I think about when I first entered the military in '92, we just didn't have that opportunity. And so now, as we see very specialized forces like the men and women of SOCOM, or whether it's someone like me that's just out there supporting the warrior and running up and down those roads, very different missions, but we all need to be protected. So, this is the way we do it. And I'm just thankful that we can find solutions without actually, going through years and years of guinea pigs on the battlefront, so we can do that in the lab setting and make those determinations before we ever outfit our men and women in uniform. So yeah, I love it. Thank you.
You bring up another very, very good point, which is where historically we've treated all of us the same. Hence, none of us get exactly what we really need. And that's also true for training, which is, the basic training we all go through the same way. Yet all of us in this conference, I suspect, are different levels of conditioning. And maybe we need to start where I am, which is less than you are, I'm sure, Senator, but actually tailor the training as well as the equipment, as well as the missions. And so there's a whole nother level of sophistication, and we're starting to get there. Thank God.
Yes. And a comment to this as well, using the lab setting and the modeling. One thing that's important to Congress is making sure we have the best possible equipment fielded for our men and women. We can do that through the laboratory, but by doing that through the laboratory, then we also see cost savings in that we're outfitting them with the best possible equipment without going through various trials and outfitting our entire force with equipment that may not work properly or may not fit properly. So, we try to be the government watchdog in Congress as well. But this way we know that we are fielding the best and doing that at a rate that will save our forces dollars that can be used in other areas. So number one is getting the best equipment, but the savings we see by not going through so many ill-fitting, improper, body armor or whatever type of equipment is very important.
Exactly. It reminds us, we see this as a revolution in capability for training. We see how simulators benefited aircraft manufacturers and vehicle training. And we say that the soldier comes first. They've kind of been in the back of the line when it comes to using modeling and simulation to improve their training. So we really see this as a revolution that's occurring to prevent injuries, extend life, health and fitness. And it's a vision of the Army really being the place to go to become fit, to learn skills, to really serve and protect. So we appreciate that. We have one final question, if you still have time.
I do.
And it was simply a question about, can you provide more information on the actual bill and what the legislation will likely do?
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have kind of an overview as well on my website if you go to ernst.senate.gov. But what we do in the bill is provide reporting requirements as well, because that is very important to make sure that we are capturing that data and keeping that handy. But let me see if I can get that. I don't have a very in-depth copy in front of me, but what we do, it is introducing the female personal protective equipment like body armor. We require the reporting, and it aims to ensure that we do have that adequate fit for women, and make sure that it's readily available. So what it will do is expedite the contracting. We want to field the equipment as quickly as possible. That's why we're glad that you all are engaged. And it requires, here's the tracking system. It requires the Defense Health Agency to create a trackable system for injury-related data to accompany the issuance of the new protective equipment. And this is where you come in as well. It encourages the collaboration between academia and industry so that we can leverage the emerging technology. So we are excited about it. It dives into the predictive human modeling. We have human factor simulations and modeling, and that will help us as we are developing that next generation body armor. So collaboration, the tracking with the Defense Health Agency, and then expedited fielding of the developed product. So the quicker we can get it out there, the better off our women will be in the field. So we really appreciate everybody stepping forward and literally wrapping your arms around this and making sure that we are doing the right thing by our female warriors.
This is Major General Stu Wallace. Thank you, Senator Ernst, for your time this morning and for your service as a fellow soldier. We appreciate all that you're doing for us out there.
God bless you, General. Thanks so much. And with that, I do need to step away. I'll be out across the state of Iowa. President Harold, thank you. Dr. Malik, thank you and your team. I'm just so appreciative. I am proud. I am just so proud of all of the work that you are doing to help. So thank you. And everybody stay safe, okay?